I invited my friend, Coach Han, who will help us girls understand one or two things about football, and hopefully we'll be able to enjoy coming Super Bowl Sunday soon, right? Welcome to the Take 1.5 podcast. This is your host, Min Lee.
Right. Super Bowl this year is in February 9th. It'll be New Orleans. Another exciting year of football.
Coach, I know you're excited about sharing about football.
Can you tell?
Sorry to interject. But would you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be happy to. Before I do that, first and foremost, I really appreciate you for having me as a guest. And you really came a long way already about making a footprint on this 1.5 generation. I really believe that because for me personally, I can relate a lot of the talking points and discussions that went on your podcast. Yeah, for
Coach
sure.
Han.
So, hey, Coach Han here. But I'm really a passionate college football guy. It's like another religion besides God. God, hopefully you understand that when I go to heaven, I'll explain. I get very excited, as you can tell, about the sports. You know, sports has been my entire life. And I came to the States when I was 12. And during those first 12 years, my dad has been taking me to baseball parks, to soccer fields. Me being one of the two sons, you know, we go out and, just run around. And I don't know if you know this team, but Hyundai Unicorns is based out of Incheon. And I'm an Incheon guy. Shout out to all the Incheon fam out there. Hyundai Unicorns' first inaugural UA baseball club. So that's where kind of like my baseball love. And of course, when you're Korean, it's obviously the
love
soccer is
baseball.
your baseball, soccer is a predominant sports in Korea. That's where kind of love came from. And then when I came to the States, I saw this guy named Michael Jordan. I've never ever seen basketball players just doing some magical stuff. I lived with two uncles, two twin aunts, five cousins in one house. I grew up in small town in Georgia. You know, he was just in love with basketball. He was obsessed. My uncle's house had a basketball court in the backyard by the garage. Cousin will play there every day. So I taught myself how to play basketball. So that's where my love for basketball, thanks to Michael Jordan, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Kobe Bryants. I watched a lot of basketball. No football now. Now football hasn't came in the equation yet. I spoke no English. These friends that I had no English, they had no ESL program. Jay, you want to be part of the football team? You're fast. Back then, I'm fast. I was fast. They would want me to try out for the wide receiver. So I tried out, and I made the team. I didn't speak any English. But here comes a sad story. I didn't have any ride, so I had to drop out of the team. So I could be on a team. I practiced with them every other day, but coach was very disappointed that I didn't have, in the neighborhood that I lived, there was nobody that could drop me off or give me a ride or anything. Yeah, so I came to States by myself. I was
Oh,
raised
you
by my
did?
uncles and aunts. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
my
I didn't know
five
that.
crazy cousins. That's right. So, and my cousins couldn't drive back then. They were in high school, middle school, elementary school. So we're just on the same boat. I mean, my uncles it's like 7 a.m. We get on the van. He's dropping everyone, six of us, just going different schools, right? Yeah, that's the unfortunate story. But the fast forward and then just kind of jump forward. So sports has. I just want to kind of reiterate that this love of sports has been always there from the get go, from the moment when I was born, and just to this day. I just love talking about sports. This is my this is my bread. Like if I want to ice break stuff with people, I talk about sports. Naturally, do you watch any college football? Do you like football? Life hack right there. Funny story, short story here. My wife, I know I'm going tangents. Sorry, but my wife got introduced to football because of Tom Brady. Do you know why?
Ah,
Just guess what
because
the reason is.
he's cute.
Yes, exactly. He saw Brady, back of the jersey, Brady 12, and saw the appearance of it. She says, Chaggy, who is that? And I said, that's Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback ever. And he said, well, I can tell. And I said, okay, that's how it's going to go. All right, pretty good. So that's how she got introduced. Whenever Tom Brady, he's retired now, but when he was playing, she was on the couch. So that's one of the reasons you can engage people when you have a favorite player, the player that you
Yeah,
want to watch. You can just get
yeah.
into it naturally. So, so besides all that, the Coach Han title came during the COVID season. We called our managers coaches. So I was just thinking, you know what? So I decided, why don't I start something, called podcast. I was listening to podcasts pretty heavily back then. I decided to give the name Coach Han because of thanks to the consulting firm. um, give me a title to coach, and then naturally I like to coaching people. And when it comes down to sports, that we exactly do that, and that's where I want that interaction with the people. That hey, you have your opinion about the team, I have mine too. Let's talk about it, or even better, to how to enjoy and feel the excitement of the game. So that is kind of where I came from. I was covering all the sports, but the important thing was to provide 5 minutes of your day, which is not even one person in a day. Or if you want to talk, if you run into a situation in daily basis, talk about any kind of sports topics. I don't want you to struggle. That was the goal. That was the purpose of it. I know that's a long, long intro. I'm sure you'll do a really good job of editing it out. So that is
I don't know
my
what I could cut
little
out.
that is my little intro there.
Are boys born with this interest? I don't know. Because all the guys that I know are pretty much into sports, some kind of sports, right? If
Right.
not all of it. But for us ladies, I don't know. I don't know that many women who are into sports that much. So I don't
It's
know
very
if it's a
tough.
gender thing.
I think gender certainly plays in. You can't ignore that. It's very funny. I say this to many friends. If you want to get to know me, get close to me, there are only two things. You talk sports with me, and you go eat pho with me. That's all. Those two things are really kind of like a go-to. But
I see.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning something about football. Understand something, then it's a little bit more interesting. So, yeah, let's go. So, who's playing this Super Bowl?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. At the time of
Oh,
the recording
true.
right now, there are 8 teams, but I'll be happy to give you my prediction.
What's your prediction?
All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. So, but here's my prediction. On the AFC side, I believe Kansas City Chiefs is going to come out. The great is the quarterback play with the Patrick Mahomes and the coach Andy Reid, their combo is phenomenal. It's undeniable. If Chiefs win this year, it's going to be back to back to back championship, three-peat, which has never happened,
So, making a history. Or could
making
be.
a history. Yes, in and this will be over 50, 56 Super Bowls that was played in. It never happened in the sequence. Even Tom Brady couldn't do it. On the other hand, other side, I think the Eagles will come out, the Philadelphia
Yeah.
Eagles. And I have a lot of Philadelphia Philly fans in my office, at my church. They are one of the obnoxious, passionate fans ever. Philadelphia Eagles has best defense, but I'll predict that Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles. And
Wow.
Kansas City Chiefs coming out on top. So I'll go for the three-peat.
Really? Woohoo. Should I bet money on it?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm that confident, but I don't think there's a much value on it. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe a
Maybe.
flyer. Yeah. Because on the other side right now, either Buffalo or Baltimore is gonna come out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, now that you said Baltimore, my husband's prediction I think was Baltimore and maybe Chiefs. I'm not sure, but Baltimore for sure. He was saying that he was predicting Baltimore. I don't know.
That's what we play,
Okay,
right?
so
That's what we play.
now that I'm gonna look for the teams, and I have some names to look out for. Who are you rooting for? If Chiefs against Eagles, who would you be rooting for?
I want to witness the history. So Kansas City Chiefs.
Got
I'll
it.
stick with that. Yeah.
That would be pretty huge.
It'll be monumental now. And then right after Super Bowl, people are going to be like, oh, now who's the GOAT? Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady? To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Most Korean American or Asian American boys play soccer, baseball, tennis, sometimes hockey, but never football. Never,
Right.
not really. Maybe when they're little, they do like pee-wee football.
Flag football.
But yeah, yeah. But when they get a little bit older, it's just one, they're not big enough, right, or strong enough, and then moms freak out because how much body impact there is. We witnessed it. We're like, oh my God, no. It's scary. How do they get into football? Like they're built differently, for sure, right?
In my opinion, I think the physicality is different. The way that the families are built from generation to generation, because football is a physical sport. So I think just that physical standpoint and the of the media availability or just getting in, just absorbing all of that, it's kind of naturally you kind of go into that field. Where I think if I had a son, I would love for my son to play football. The team that I cheer for, Atlanta Falcons, there's a kicker named Younghoe Koo. He's a Korean guy, and when I came to the States '98, at first I told you about I fell in love with NBA, the backyard basketball with my cousin, and then nobody watched football in the household. We were all in the church, all in from getting ready from 7 a.m. come home at 7 p.m. So we had no opportunity to do that. So I had no knowledge about football or Monday Night Football, the existence of the football. But the game that changed me was a Super Bowl that the Rams versus Tennessee Titans played. And I didn't even know they had there was a Super Bowl Sunday. If Tennessee Titans scored a touchdown, they would win the game. Okay, the situation was like that. It was 7 seconds left. They only needed, I believe, 16 yards or so. Steve back there throws the ball. Kevin Dyson cuts it to the middle. He catches it. And then my eyes go, oh my God. He is 1 yard short. He stretches. That's it. He stretches his arm, but his knee was already down. So his knee was down and ball was right here. It's about inches right here.
Oh no.
So I first, without knowing any rules, I thought he had it. I thought he got it. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I'm just jumping up and down, and my uncle's like, we're good at 무슨 일이야? And he thought I was just like, I'm going bananas right now. This is exciting. And you just came this short of winning. It can get more dramatic. So that's when I fell in love. That's where my love started, and it never stopped. And growing from Georgia, Georgia football runs the state. So it's just something that kind of naturally I was born with. And, I went to school in Georgia. My cousins all did. And so it's just, we bleed red and black. So.
Right place at the right time. Wow, that's you carry that through. Did you ever fantasize about becoming a football player yourself?
Not a football player. I knew I didn't have that physicality, but basketball player I did. I once thought in middle school I had a good shot at ABA. I have a good vertical compared to all the other friends that I compete with, and I play ball. I play for a team, for a middle school team, and I used to be a great defensive player. So that's when I thought I was just like, man, I might have a chance. The physicality, that's when I hit the wall. And I'm just like short, Asian guy, 5'9", who's just speedy, quick. I could be a good bench player, role player, who could play, but I couldn't even do that. So, hey, coach had a different decision then, and I just decided to play some soccer and baseball, and life was good. So,
Super Bowl Sunday. Give us some tips on how to enjoy this upcoming Super Bowl game. What can we do? What should be our attitude?
Yeah, you're asking me you're asking the right question there. First and foremost, you gotta have the right food. Just load it up. Just bring everything from the pantry, everything you could take out. Just load it out, and order wings and pizza, and
Check.
just have it.
Okay.
Yes, have everything. 상 부러지게 everything. Just have everything ready. Korean, American, Mexican, Chinese, Japanese. Bring everything out.
Whatever
And
it is. Okay.
Yes. And
Food.
second, yes, you gotta have people over. You gotta have people. The people that you haven't seen for 6 months plus. They
Awkward
make
friends.
yeah, exactly. Check. So those two are done. While you enjoy the food, you don't really have to pay attention to the game. But I think you just kind of engage with your friend and just kind of catch up with your life. And I think not necessarily into the game. If you really want to know how the game is going, you spot one person, you go to the person and talk. Everybody huddled up.
Okay.
That's where the fun begins. Just have a party. Just have a blast.
Okay.
Just have a good time. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Used to be commercials, used to be a big one,
Yeah.
and then another one halftime show.
Budweiser ones,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And the
Yes.
cars. Yeah. I
Yes.
remember.
Doritos. Doritos is always a good one.
Coca-Cola.
Hey, Coca-Cola's another one. There you go. But yeah, another thing being halftime. This year
Right.
Kendrick Lamar. It's gonna be really hip hop. Last year it was Usher. Whew, that was pretty good. I love a hip hop as well. But
Yeah. Don't forget Janet Jackson a few years ago.
the wardrobe malfunction. Oh, definitely. That is something
Yeah.
that's something to never forget. So for me, underrated element to the Super Bowl national anthem. Early 20s, I became a U.S. citizen, and I remember one of the guests from your podcast talked about the mixed emotions of that. At the same time, becoming a U.S. citizen was the right thing because I wanted to, leave my legacy. I know, funny as it sounds, national anthem became more emotional since then. And same thing for 애국가 too. 애국가 is always, in my heart. I never forget where I come from. And it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing how that kind of give you that 그 웅장함을 준다고 그러죠. 되게 it's a very magnificent. Go and watch 1991 Super Bowl. Whitney Houston singing national anthem. It will
Yeah, I
make you
remember that.
cry. It will.
Yeah.
You remember that one? It will make you cry. I mean, I love Whitney Houston, but it's just that national anthem is probably the best national anthem I ever seen. I wish I witnessed that live. And I showed it to my dad. It's like, Dad, this is amazing. He's like, 잘 모르겠다. 너는 미국인이라 그런가 보다. But I was like, what?
A
Yeah.
all-American game, right? Only Americans play just football. It's not rugby, it's football, American football. And then
Right.
in events like these brings the unity of our nation. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
This is where kind of, everyone gets together. Everyone's talking about the big game, and it's a true American sport. It's a war.
That's-
Someone's got to come out of victory.
That's what I heard, that football started in a battlefield as a recreational for the soldiers. See, I paid attention.
There you go. 2 thumbs up.
Now that you giving me the permission to, yeah, that's a new way of looking at it. I don't have to pay attention the whole time to the game or follow the stats, but enjoy that. But give us some people to watch out for, what's a quarterback do, line receiver, whatever, whoever they are, what goes on.
I'll start from the coaching staff. Me being a coaching is very important. Especially in the football, because they're the ones that communicating, giving plays to the quarterback. So the quarterback, when you often see on the sideline, you see the coaches have this type of thing on. And what they do is they communicate. Coaches communicate. Gives out a play to a quarterback's helmet. So quarterback's helmet has a little headset there. It's built-in audio system in there. And then when the line is set, they begin their play. There's a head coach up there, and then there's 2 different coordinators. There's an offensive coordinator, and there's a defensive coordinator. And then head coach usually approves or denies a call.
It sounds like it's quick, right? Really split-second decisions,
Right.
calls.
Yes, usually play calling is about 30 seconds in between the plays.
Yeah, wow, intense.
Intense, very fast. Very
But
fast.
why the quarterback though? Is he like the captain?
So the quarterback, quarterback is a captain. Quarterback's the only position who touches the football in every play, right?
Oh,
When they're in
I didn't know
offense.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, when they're in offense, they are, right? They're able to control the game. So the most important thing I look at when I look at the teams is that the head coach and quarterback relationship, the chemistry, how do they gel? So that's why usually head coaches sit in front whenever they need a quarterback on the NFL draft day. They look at the board and say, I want this quarterback to be my franchise guy. It's that
Really?
important. I'll teach you a little bit about the offensive line. So in the offensive line, the most important position is left tackle and the left guard. The left tackle, the left side. When the quarterback snaps the ball in the center, and that's the center who hands the ball, right? Just holds the ball and then set up. The quarterback gets the ball, and then the defensive line will try to go towards the quarterback, right? Just rushes, trying to strip it out, trying to disturb the quarterback. But naturally, let me see if I can do a demonstration here while I'm sitting. So, so as a quarterback tucks it, and their natural instinct go like this when they're right-handed. So that means they're looking right, and then they're looking left. But then, so when the ball comes, he just turns. But then their guys are coming. You're not seeing that side. So that's why that protection right there is very important. The left side, the left tackle. So
What about if you're a lefty? You always turn to the right?
great question. So it's the reverse. That is kind of like a different, kind of interesting fact about it. But there's only few number of lefties, left-hand quarterbacks in the league. But there's a myth that when you're lefty, you kind of go over your kind of shoulder. You can kind of see everything. I mentioned about defense wins championship, but at the same time, the line of scrimmage, we call it, the football people, is very, very important. Whoever owns that line, whoever's more dominant in that line wins the game.
So the linemen, those are the offensive linemen and defensive linemen.
Correct.
Yes? Those are the big guys.
Those are the big guys. Now, the
Those-
skinny guys, the faster guys, are coming in usually, depends on the play. You can have an extra lineman on the edge of the usually right side or left side. Tall, usually wide receivers are tall, skinny, and fast. Now, a very fast side, agility needs to be there, great footwork, the physicality when they get hit, produce that hit after run, yards after run, which is very important. There's a running back at Philadelphia Eagles right now, Saquon Barkley. And the great thing about him is he has all the tools for a great running back. He's not huge. He's very agile. He's very quick at his feet. He's physical. So when these linebackers or big guys even hit him, he doesn't go down. He refuses to go down. So after he hits that initial hit, he still goes on. This is a chess game, right? This is like the most intriguing part of football because this is a chess game. It's a chess game that they play because it's an offensive versus defense, and you have to guess what kind of play they're running.
So the guy who runs to the goal with the ball at the end to the finish line, what do you call it?
End
Goal
zone.
line? End zone.
End zone.
That's the running back, right?
So it can be running back. It could be quarterback. Yes, you're right. You're partially right. It could be wide receiver, or it could be a quarterback.
Okay.
Because
So-
quarterback can do so many things. Quarterback can
I
throw.
see.
Quarterback can run if they're fast, like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, or even they can hand off to running back. So
So give us some names that we may know so we could watch out for these players.
yeah, so as of current, there's still teams out there. So I'll give some few
Sure.
teams who could make it far. I think possibly could get there. So Patrick Mahomes from Kansas City Chiefs, he's already won 3 last 5 years of the Super Bowl ring. So he's already making his name, marking
is
it
he?
there. He's a quarterback. So usually the names I'm going to give it to you is a quarterback because they're the
Okay.
main focal point and
Patrick
main
Mahomes,
players. Yep, Patrick Mahomes. That's the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. He's the quarterback. And on the other side, there's Lamar Jackson, which is an MVP candidate this year. There's an interesting stat that I saw. Conspiracy theory is all about. People love this stuff, right? So Baltimore Ravens, last time they won is 12 years ago. And the quarterback, Joe Flacco, was 28 years old. And the previous Super Bowl was won the 12 years before that, and Trent Dilfer was 28 years old.
Oh, I think I
Now
heard
you,
this.
you know where I'm going with this. Lamar Jackson this year. It's been 12 years since Baltimore hasn't won Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, you guessed it right, 28 years old. So
Ooh.
I have some Baltimore Ravens fans in church, and they threw me that stat, and I said that's a very small sample size, but it's been fun. I don't believe that stuff.
Only 3.
But
My son-in-law is a Ravens fan.
okay, that's awesome. Yeah, so he knows all about it. Raven
Okay.
Flock. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what's up. So, and there's Saquon Barkley, which I mentioned about the running back. He's clearly the offensive player of the year candidate. I don't think he's going to get an MVP this year. I think either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson that I mentioned, they're playing against each other, so there will be a good game. They're formerly known as Washington Redskins. Their quarterback is Jaden Daniels. He's a rookie, but made led them to playoffs. He carried the team last week to get a
Wow.
first playoff win in 30 years, almost
Someone to
30
watch
years.
out for. Awesome.
There you go.
Wow. Wow. I feel like I'm a football fan by just
All
knowing
right.
these guys' names and who they are. So I'm gonna be like throwing these names out. I'm gonna be name dropping.
Hey, drop it. There you go.
All right. What are you gonna be focusing on for the next few weeks until you have your teams?
Yeah. So usually playoff time, I kind of look at how teams kind of play out, and I love this time of the year. It's perfect because at the same time there's college football playoffs going on. College football championship is playing next week. So I'll be focused on and locked in watching these teams and who are the really contenders and who are the pretenders. And the way that I see it is I like to look at those kind of contrary kind of side of things rather than people like, oh, this team blew out this team by 14 points. But I want to understand the process of how this team beat by 14 points. What really happened during the game? And play by play really tells you that story. The drive and the time kind of tells you the story, and the numbers never lie. So those type of things I'll analyze, and hopefully my prediction goes right. And yeah, that is something that I'll be focused on for the next few weeks.
Awesome. I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge, and just hearing these just I've heard these names because I live in a household of guys who are into football and all kinds of
Sure.
sports. But now that I know who they are and what team they're and MVPs, possible MVPs, yeah, I'm good. I think, and also the fact that you gave me permission to just kind of hang out and enjoy the crowd, enjoy the room. I think that's a
Yeah.
good way of approaching. I really like that. I used to go see a movie with my girlfriends on Super Bowl Sunday. They used to be
How
my
dare
thing.
you? How dare you? Because that's why I got my dad got to enjoy it because he visited us a couple years ago from Korea, and it happened to fall under the Super Bowl Sunday. And thank God there was a high scoring game that got him entertained. He actually enjoyed the game. He wanted the American style, kind of how he's all about the culture,
Uh-huh.
experiencing the culture.
Yeah.
So he's
With
like,
the wings and everything.
yeah, 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 yeah. He's like, 슈퍼볼 때는 뭘 이렇게 먹고 이렇게
Uh,
하는 거야. So I was like, 아빠,
oh.
아버지, 제가 준비를 한번 해보겠습니다. And then I was just like, all right, let me prepare some wings, Pizza Hut, the wings hut, like all that, like everything just got to be there, right? And
Uh-huh.
then,
Uh-huh.
my wife made some nachos, and
Mm.
it's just kind of like tacos, and we're just having a blast, and the man had a great time. he he loves sports, and the one of my favorite things to do is watching, guys sitting by side and just kind of watching sports, just kind of
Mm.
talk about life, and
Mm-hmm.
he's my lifetime mentor. So, anyway,
That's good.
that is kind of when I think about my dad, I just I just get emotional. I
Yeah.
좀 약간 짠한 게 있는 것 같아요.
Mm.
아버지의 그런, I only been a father for 2 years, but there is something kind of emotions from his voice, from
Mm.
his kind of things that kind of gets me, to think what my dad would went through during when I was young. I
Mm.
often think about those stuff, and you know, it's very touching. For me, because of him, I was able to come to the States and be where I am, and like I told you, I never forget where I come from. So when I was 12, I got pretty much got dropped by my mom. She came with me. I remember to say in the garage, I said, "Mom, 진짜 잘해서 I'll see you soon." So I didn't talk to them on the phone for probably about a year because I was really afraid that in that young age that I was going to really get softened with my heart. I really wanted to be
Mm.
strong. Yeah, I just fell in love with America when I visited '96. My uncle took me to the Cuba baseball game at
Mhm.
the Atlanta Braves Stadium, experiencing all that and the whole atmosphere and what the Beagle is about. That those are really special moments. And when I got back, I was telling my friends about, yeah, 미국 간대 진짜 이거는 완전 죽인다, you know? And what I learned from those guests that you brought it on as they share their story it was that I wasn't the only one, you know, really felt the way. And sometimes, you know, you it's normal that you think about the depression and the anxieties and those struggles. And
Yeah.
you know, this 이민 생활, 유학 생활 is tough. You know, but hey, I enjoy my life every day. The sports delights me, gets me going, gets me pumped up, get me energized, you know. And I think God just introduced me something that, you know, Jay, this is your life. Go follow your passion and say, hey, this might get me, you
Yeah.
know, start my season 2 of my Coach Han podcast. You know?
Definitely.
So we'll see. We'll see what future has in store. You know, Coach Han 63. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, check it out.
I don't think I've talked about kind of sports nonstop like this, and tag along with my life too. I just appreciate you again to be a part of the history of the Take 1.5 podcast.
Yes.
I just want to say I really enjoy listening to your podcast when it drops. I know I should I should click the like button as often as I should.
Of course.
Hey, I know I'm saying a lot of words, but I just want to get that kind of genuine thoughts out to you. So there you have it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So help us grow by sharing, commenting, liking, and following on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and other platforms. Thanks, Jay. Coach Han, for your time. We're prepared to enjoy the game with our
I hope
men.
so.